Good evening, councillors, and good evening to those members of the general public that are choosing to watch this. Right, have we got any apologies?
Apologies from Councillor Albion, and we have one vacancy.
Okay, and have we got any declarations of interest tonight? Anyone got a declaration? No? Okay, has everyone looked at the minutes of the previous meeting and approve it? Can we take a vote on that they were mentioned, Councillor Austin, Councillor Wing as well? Right. So we've got quite a few applications to consider this evening. Shall we start with, do you want to read this out?
Yeah, I'll go through
yes.
So number one is Rooks, Delicatessen, 79 King Street. It's the erection of a 2-storey rear extension together with increase in roof height to provide additional floor with the insertion of 2 numbered dormers to the front and 1 numbered dormer to the rear to facilitate the creation of 5 numbered 1-bed and 1 numbered 2-bed self-contained flats to the upper floor. Installation of 2 numbered balconies to the rear elevation following alterations to fenestration and internal layout. It's in a conservation area. It was called in by Councillor Albion. Reason for call-in was grounds of effect on adjacent property, and it's in a conservation area.
You want to speak to this, Councillor Nixie?
I just want to ask a question, if I may. We are assuming that the retail premises stays as a retail premises, are we?
I thought that. I believe so. Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming. That's what. Yeah. Thank you.
Its position in the in King Street would. There's no way they would get away with doing.
No, I just wanted to check that as I moved on. Thank you, Chair.
So you've got the existing top left, which is the existing, so you've got that empty space there, and then they're going to raise it up.
Okay.
So you've got the existing floor plans, and then you're looking at the bottom second and the roof plan.
Sorry, Councillor Nixie.
There are quite a lot of objections to this on the planning portal. Partly based around the fact they claim it's not been drawn correctly, right? So you can't see how close it is to other properties.
Oh.
Could we have a aerial view?
Yes, that might be helpful.
I couldn't get it up, the drawings. Sometimes it tells you it's not available to.
Yeah, sometimes they state that they're not there. So
really looked at it. Right.
yeah, so the plans are actually showing that it's butt arm and it's level with the wall. That's.
God, it's not easy to work out, is it?
It's not. So yeah, it'd just be a little bit lower than that, but
right.
It's level with that. That's going off of the plans anyway.
So quite a bit, yeah. Oh, sorry, Councillor Crittenden, I was gazing at this, trying to work it out, actually.
Yeah. I'm conscious that Councillor Albion called this in. It's yes. Board, and looking at what he has said here about being concerned about the effect on the adjacent property. I mean, from my view, to some extent, the increasing of the height of the building is an element of infill as far as the line of the buildings in the area. And as long as it's sensitive, then the conservation area shouldn't be harmed. However, I think what we really need to look at is the effect on the adjacent property. So I think we, as ward councillors, which is why I'm here tonight, there's a bit of mixed feelings on it. But I think the main concerns are what it does to the adjacent properties, and that's what we really need to look at, is what's happening at the back.
Do you think we should ask for greater clarity then? Because I mean, I'm finding this quite difficult to work out.
You go up the
stairs are on the left, aren't they?
Where all the
The murals are.
yeah, and you go in through those apparently doors there, aren't they? And there's lots of.
That's King's Place at the back. When you get to the top of the steps, you've got King's Place, which comes back down.
So it's the two little.
Sorry, Chair.
Sorry, Chair, again, I'm going up sort of like, past the pub around that slip where King's Hall is, and you've got those two flats there, haven't you, behind the pub and everything. How it affects them, really.
Yes.
Because, again, my question, I mean, in some senses, I agree. I mean, the whole infill of that front, I don't see as such a problem. And you're right, it is how it affects the flats. And where it's rubbish, where's, bin storage and stuff, I'm not entirely sure where they have anyway.
There's a real problem with
Around that area,
around that area.
Because may I?
Sorry, Councillor Crittenden, yeah.
At the back of 135.
Yes.
This is what Councillor Nix is referring to. It's not clear, but there are flats along there, as I recall.
Yes.
And the entrance to those flats is in.
It's basically where the P and L are on King's Place, isn't it?
Yes.
That neck of the woods is there.
When you walk down King's Place, you can't readily see those flats because the entrance is a gate in a very tall fence.
Yes.
Over 6 foot, so it's hard to see what they're like behind it. But there would definitely, from the looks of it, be some overlooking into their area, but it's hard to tell.
Councillor Wing.
Go back to the front view, because I actually think the shop front document that TDC have produced is really good, actually. We got the one that they could have done a bit more with those windows.
Yeah.
The shop front is perfect, but above is not great. And I think the front elevation is okay, but we don't really understand the side and the back elevations because the plans are not that clear. So that definitely needs to be picked up. The other thing I'm going to pick up, which is what we always pick up, parking and rubbish and no cycle storage. So we're in the sustainability zone, although I think all of this needs reviewing because we haven't got much of a town centre with shops shutting. So is it that sustainable? I don't know. You have to go to Westwood Cross. I've gone to Westwood Cross to get paper today because Wilco's isn't there. So the whole issue of it being sustainable needs a big, massive review, and it all dates back to, 2014? I don't know. So there's issues. We can't clearly see what's happening on the side and back, which is a worry because there are even on Abbott's Hill, you walk down those steps and there's flats around the back as well. Where is their rubbish going to go?
Yeah.
How many flats? Flats from 6 flats?
Yeah.
Councillor Austin, then Councillor Nixie. Sorry, Councillor Wing, I
Do you
didn't.
have any information, Dean, on the materials they're planning on using for the window treatment and the doors? The doors at the back there look distinctly like modern glazed front doors, which I would be not very happy about. Shop front to me is the whole front of the building, not just the shop front. It has to all match or be.
But not touching the shop front.
No, but I'm saying the shop front for me is the whole front of the building.
Looking at the whole.
And the windows above are not. They could have done more with the windows above.
Councillor Nixie.
Materials. Does the proposed development
There's not enough details.
No.
require any materials to be used externally? Yes.
No information.
Doesn't tell you anything about it. Oh, yes, here we go.
Rent brick.
Roof,
Windows, steel, wood.
steel and wood.
Black aluminium. Doors, wood.
With aluminium.
Wood and aluminium. Okay. Take that back then.
Thank you. Councillor Nixie, you wanted to speak?
I'm going to propose that we vote against this, we object to this. The reason being, we've said about bins, we've said about overlooking neighbours, but quite frankly, I don't know, is this a one flat before it got changed, Dean, do we know?
That
Because if it's going to a 5
Yeah.
1-bed flat and a 1 2-bed flat, there's 6 flats there, like we've just said, and that's overdevelopment in that area. So I propose that we object because it's overdevelopment and impact on the neighbours.
Adjacent property, yeah.
Yeah.
Who would like to, so you're proposing that, who would like to second that? You'll second that, Councillor Nathan.
vote.
Yeah, can we vote on that, please? Who would vote on that?
I can't vote.
Okay, that's fine. Pass.
I'm not on the committee.
But it's nice to have you here, Helen. The next one is 18 Albion Hill.
Your face?
Yeah, 18 Albion Hill, erection of a 4-storey side and rear extension to provide 3 numbered 2-bed and 1 numbered 3-bed flats following the demolition of existing rear extensions in a conservation area called in by councillors Crittenden and Makinson. Reason for calling, I think it'd be useful to comment on the extent of the development and location. So overall, this would be an improvement, but also extensive development.
Councillor Crittenden.
I'll just say I assume councillor Makinson's words were extensive overdevelopment. Having gone down there a couple of days ago and looked in the back garden and pictured the way the extension will work, it is an extensive overdevelopment. I definitely agree with that phrase. It desperately needs renovation, that property.
Yeah.
But whether or not it needs that amount of extension into the back garden, and when you look at it and that bottom right-hand picture and how it is overshadowing, number 16 that is, it is quite extensive. We have, as ward councillors, had a number of complaints from the residents, or I'll say concerns from the residents in the area, because of the impact of overlooking, and I think that extension is going to pretty much take up most of the garden. I mean, it's a tiny little space. So, yeah, I'd like to hear more from the rest of the committee, please.
Councillor Nixie, you wanted to speak to this too?
I think, don't get me wrong, I don't think the property itself is a particularly gorgeous example for our town centre, but this is right smack bang where, you know, tourists and residents obviously come and see. And I think blocking out any form of view or light with that vista, I think is detrimental to the, effect of the town centre. And so along those lines, I wouldn't be supporting this because I'd like to see that building enhanced. Of course I would. But that's, taking that patch of light and view from all the other properties and then the view up to it from the harbour, I think is wrong.
Councillor Austin?
Already had approval for the works at the Royal, which will again block out light and be massive. I would say lots, but other people will use different words, but it's another development that to a building that's not of historical or heritage interest, but appears to me to be incongruous and out of scale, and this feels to me to be exactly the same kind of thing.
Yes. Councillor Wing.
I think for me too as well, I mean, looking at that gap down the Royal, it isn't big enough for an infill to be decent, and I feel exactly the same, but not only have we got, I mean, at least the Royal, you've got a building that is exactly the same size as the Royal. Here, you've got that little bungalow, which is, I mean, you look at that, it's just swamped.
Yeah.
It's just intrusive, obtuse. It just doesn't feel as if it should be there at all. It would just be completely overpowering, that little building on that side.
Yeah. Councillor Nixie, then Councillor Crittenden.
I mean, sorry, Councillor Crittenden, to jump in, but I mean, I would like to propose, we strongly object to this application on the grounds of, view and conservation zone,
Impact on neighbours. Aesthetics.
Thank you.
Aesthetically hideous.
Area, and massive overdevelopment.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at the building on that side, it's going to completely look on the roofs of those buildings there.
Yes.
I mean, you think what mine was rejected for?
Through the chair.
Sorry, it was Councillor Crittenden next, and then we will take, I think, do you want to say?
Obviously takes up half the garden.
The
garden's small enough to start with. But
Councillor Nixie made a proposal there. What do, will somebody second that? And we
Definitely got to be overdevelopment.
Yeah. So we vote on Councillor Nixie. Would you just like to say your proposal again?
Well, we strongly object to this for the reasons that the Deputy Marketing and Communications Officer and Council is going to read out for us.
So strongly object on the grounds of the view that is in the conservation area, the overdevelopment of the site, and it's not aesthetically pleasing for the area.
Thank you.
For neighbours.
Right,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
It's a
yes.
definite key one.
Impact.
And you seconded that, councillor Austin, yes? And can we vote on that, please? Excellent. Thank you. Winnie's gone to sleep, she's bored.
Riveting, what are you talking about?
No chickens in these applications.
Third application, Oak Hotel, 66 Harbour Parade.
So this is for an erection of a roof extension to provide one number 2-bed self-contained flat together with erection of external staircase and alterations to fenestration with the listed building consent that goes with it. It's in the conservation area. It is an amended application, so there's been changes to the design of the building. We gave no comment back in October, called in by councillor Crittenden. The raised height and new appearance in conservation are worth reviewing by RTC. The artist's impression and extension looks incongruous against the existing building.
Councillor Crittenden, you wanted to speak to this?
Yeah, can I just start by asking, I'm not exactly sure what has or has not already been approved, and I'm hoping that you might be able to
Yep.
clarify that at the start.
Sure.
So what is it that's already there?
So if I go through the plan, so the image on the left that you've got there is existing. The image on the right is the previously proposed plan. So that you can see there that they're scaling it down on the right. So I'll do a better shot there. So the bottom left is the previously proposed,
Yeah.
and then they're scaling it back and slanting it due to loss of light on some of the flats on that area. So they're sloping it to adjust for that.
That's perfect.
Right, yes.
So that's the original proposed, and this is the new amended. So it's the slant.
Has been approved, has it?
That
That's
is
because it's coming up as an amended application, changes to building design.
same application, so no, it hasn't, not yet. It's not been approved yet.
Right.
It's not been approved yet.
Approved.
No.
Councillor Makinson?
There was talk of another staircase on the outside.
So that hasn't changed from the original application.
Yeah, but where is it? The back, that's at the back, isn't it?
I think
Yeah, I think
intrusive in that location.
the previous staircase is somewhere here.
Are there any staircases anywhere on the back? Do we know?
Surely there has to be for a fire escape at Royal Oak Hotel.
Yeah, I mean, for the amended application, these are the only plans that we have. But on the original, there was a staircase at the rear.
What do people think?
Go back to the front elevation.
Could we go? Thank you, Dean. So that's the original, yeah.
They
They've just cut the corner, haven't they?
and
That's
reduced,
sloped
Put
it
it back.
sloped it back.
You remember it's better, but it's still visually intrusive. It's like the Royal.
Yeah.
This is very, very similar, and it's only on one bit of the Oak Hotel. The other bit is not. They've all got inconsistent.
Yeah.
Councillor Wing?
I was lucky enough to go look around the Sports Direct building, which initially had a problem with its roof.
Because it was going to be like that.
And they moved it further back so you can't see it. And actually the building's phenomenal. It's absolutely superb. I still think it doesn't, if it was
the same as what was there, we wouldn't have a problem with it, would we? But look, it sticks out like a sore thumb. I can't,
So they have, sorry Chair, they have scaled it back, haven't they?
cut that corner off.
Let me just, so that's the original, the dark outline. So they've scaled it back, but not really by much. You can see there it's a couple of feet.
So, sorry, councillor Austin.
Those that we say that we recognise that this is an improvement, but we still think it's intrusive, overdevelopment and inappropriate for seafront and the conservation.
Yeah.
Suppose that's, who would like to second that?
Again, the whole shop front thing should be the whole building, and it's just not in keeping with what's there.
I don't think you'd be aware of that side.
Well, I hate mansards, if you can see it.
Yeah, but I'm not sure you'll be able to see that.
Well, that was the one on Queen's.
Councillor Austin, seconded by councillor Wing. Can we vote on that proposal, councillor Austin's, please? Thank you. You abstained, councillor.
I abstained,
Yeah.
I'm not so sure.
It's back at the Queen's, at the Sports Direct, they shifted it back, so you can't see it from the road.
So onwards and upwards. So this is the second one on the Oak Hotel, is it? Yes.
I mean, the other one was for the listed
Right,
building consent,
okay.
so.
We've got Chapel Place.
That's just a fireplace.
The Chapel Place one,
Place.
the documents don't show us what we need to know.
No.
So, yeah, it's an application for listed building consent for removal of fire surround and part chimney breast together with internal alterations. In a conservation area called by Council Austin, grounds conservation area and being a listed building. So, yeah, it's that building there and
It's just, if you go back to the map now. It's right up the.
Councillor Austin, do you want to speak to this?
Yes, please.
This in?
It appears that the owners want to revamp their kitchen and dining space, and what they are proposing is to take out part of the original chimney breast there in order, as far as I can tell, to put a cooker in. We have no photographs of the chimney breast, so it could be a concrete monstrosity. It could be something of enormous
Historical interest, yes.
And the fact that photographs have not been attached makes me feel like it might be something that we need to know a bit more about.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Austin. Councillor Nixon, you want to speak to this one too?
Yeah, in that sense, I would like to say for the time being, we object to this application due to lack of information and would, obviously we'd like that information, but seek advice from the
Conservation officer.
conservation officer.
That's what you're proposing?
Yes, I mean, if we don't have any information, I mean, it could be all or nothing here, couldn't we? We wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah.
Sorry, councillor Makinson, you wanted to speak?
I don't think it's a big issue, really. We have it in our house, an absolutely huge, at least 2 metres by 2 metres chimney breast.
Yeah.
Which that one doesn't look quite as big.
They're talking about excavating the chimney breast, which suggests major alteration to me. So I think it's not that we necessarily object, it's that we don't know whether we
Absolutely.
don't know what it's like.
And so, Councillor Makinson, it may not be a big thing, but until we have information, we can't say, can we? Isn't that the point?
And councillor Wing, you wanted to speak?
I feel quite sorry for them because most people would have just done this, because nobody would know. And I'm sort of the same. I think we need a photograph, but I don't think it's a big issue. I think we're going to find these are decent people who've done the right thing by putting an application in.
And that's fine.
I just want to point out, I'm not saying it is a big issue, I just say, without how can we possibly make a decision?
We can't.
Yeah?
So that's the proposal that we
Yes.
asked for a photograph. Do you want to read out the proposal again, Dean? Sorry.
So object due to lack of information and seek advice from the conservation area.
Yeah, it's a.
Officer, sorry.
I think it would be quite a big structural issue. I know that's not what we're here to look at.
Yeah, because you can't just take a fireplace out, can you?
So, councillor
I
Austin,
did that with my house, which is not listed or in a conservation area, but I said to the builder, right, we'll have that out, and he went, you won't, love. That's all fall down.
okay, well, we've had councillor Nix's proposal. Who would second that? Yeah, okay, well, that's seconded by councillor Wing and councillor Austin. And can we vote on that, please? Councillor Makinson, you abstain?
Because I don't think it's a big issue.
I don't think it's
We're asking for information. Yeah.
I think it will be, but we have photographs.
Information you're going to get, the size of the opening for the cooker.
Let's have a look, let's find out what we're going to get. What we're going to get. I'm not going to
preempt it.
preempt.
They could build a modern fireplace which would be out of keeping with the historic building.
They may not even have a fireplace.
Well, let's not speculate, because we're on to Townley Street now. Ladies.
Only house.
So, yeah,
And this,
oh,
go on,
so
Dean.
It's Townley House, 46 Chatham Street. It's the building application for erection of side and front boundary wall and gate, installation of balcony to first floor rear elevation. There's reduction in size to previously approved. replacement of rear French doors and second floor stairway window with smoke vents, and alterations to side boundary wall. It's in the conservation area called in by Councillor Austin. Have a closer look. Already commented as TDC councillor wishes the RTC to express view on important heritage building.
Councillor Ross.
So it's a very significant building. Most of what they're planning on doing looks okay insofar as I understand anything about the architectural matters in question. What I am concerned about is that they're planning not to build a side wall with railings that they were planning on doing, and there are objections from people in the ground floor flats who have said people will overlook us, people will be able to come round and be, press their noses up against our windows, and that's a very, very busy area of pavement along there. So I was just a bit concerned about that, really, and I wanted to see what other members thought.
So they're building a wall instead of the railings?
No, they're building a wall with railings on the top, which actually looks very attractive, but they're not building it all the way around in the way that they had originally planned. That's my understanding. Is that right, Dean?
Yeah, so just seeing that it's not great, it's the plans, unfortunately, but you've got the existing wall and the gate bit there, and then you've got a wall just covering a small section of it, and then you've got the rest of it is open.
Oh, that's a bit strange, isn't it?
The person who,
Councillor Austin, you finished, then Councillor Makinson.
I'm just going to say that the person whose objection I read on the portal was saying it's ironic that we've paid to be part of the historic building.
Yes.
We're not getting the treatment that people in the modern flats next door are getting, and we don't understand why, because that was the basis on which we purchased the flat.
Yes, I can't see which flats are complaining about being overlooked. Are they? Where are
I think they're round the corner at the side.
they're not part of this development?
Yes, they are. They're part of the original building.
Are they already occupied?
Yes.
So there's a series of flats here,
Yeah.
a series of flats here, and they're the ones on the main road.
Right.
And the bit of the wall, can you put the wall
The bit of the wall is, looking at the plan, is going to be there with the gate. And I think the concern is this bit here, whether that's not.
Councillor Wing, if you go to the front view, if you go back to the front view, I've got a feeling that Townley House is on the street. So if you look on Addington Street, I've got a strip in front of my house, which is mine, so I could put railings up. In fact, I've got permission to put railings up. But as you go down the street, they all directly onto the street. So the next door but one to me, his house is straight onto the street. So I've got a feeling that Townley House, the original building, has got no space to put a wall in front of it, because its boundary finishes as it meets the curb, if I can remember rightly from walking up there. But the other bits are set back slightly. But it just looks odd that the wall is just there and not there. It just doesn't look right at all. But it could look better if we had an artist's impression of it, because it just looks very flat at the minute. And you can see they've got a gate to gain access round the back, which is why the walls are there. But I don't know what I feel about this.
Councillor Austin?
I just wanted to have a closer look at it, really, because I was concerned that the treatment seems to be inconsistent, and that people were worried about being overlooked. I mean, that is a very, very busy area, and when there are people living in all the flats at the back, it will be much busier. With the supermarket and the pub and everything up that road, it gets a lot of young people coming down to Chatham and Clarendon from the station, etc. So there's traffic all the time, foot traffic all the time. And I just wanted to check that we weren't endorsing something inappropriate.
You wanted to speak to it?
On Councillor Wing's perspective that it might be on the road, could we have a look at an aerial view to see whether that's the case? 'Cause, I mean,
They did put, the original application did have a wall there, so yes, that's one of the things they're asking to change, so.
Oh, look, you can see with the boundaries, if you go back, the red line boundary, look, that's obviously their boundary. So there clearly is a bit that belongs, so a wall could go to that bit there. The red line, is the red line their boundary? So they could have a wall all the way along, except where the bay is.
Yeah, because the wall is coming to either side of the building, but they could go across the front.
Along, and it would enhance the appearance though.
That's an exit.
could I
Yes.
Can we ask a question before we approve or again, we'd like information as to why that wall doesn't go all the way along like it did before, because we would be inclined to object to this if it wasn't there. We see no reason why it wouldn't be there. I don't know how we're going to phrase this. Somebody help me out here. I'm not making a proposal. I'm just asking a question. How do we put that across?
I mean, as it looks now, it's one development and there's nothing unifying it. You just have this wall there and no wall there. So if there was low railings, like they have on Addington Street, which goes down the whole, they're only low railings. Low railings all the way along would be better than a bloody wall.
Yes.
It would define a boundary. It looks weird.
Yeah, I would agree about the unifying fact. Sorry, councillor Nixie and councillor Nicholson.
And so therefore, would we have to object, because we're looking at this particular application, so we'd have to object saying we are objecting purely because we do not understand why the wall doesn't unify the
As on the original application.
estate, as the original application. And we'd like to know why that was taken.
Changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, councillor Nicholson, so you wanted to speak to this
I
one.
think with the semicircular entrance and its columns, I think maybe a wall would look a bit incongruous.
I think a wall would look bad. But a small railing fence
But
would be
even
good.
small railings as well.
Yeah.
And if you've got small railings that I have outside my house, people poke stuff through them all the time.
But it does keep them away from your window.
Yeah, but you have to go out and sweep it all the time.
Yes.
And it is a very messy, dirty street.
Okay, but been bearing in mind, I do see the point that that's going to look a little bit incongruous next to the curved area, but, yeah, sorry, councillor Wing.
I just wanted to praise this development because about 2 years ago, the little thing that I used to walk past that was a dog that died there, can't remember the dog's name.
Yes.
It disappeared and a resident texted me and then there was a huge online thing and I approached planning and planning made them find it because they'd thrown it somewhere and it's been reinstated for some time.
It's rather not
It's a
sweet.
little thing about, I can't remember the dog's name.
Councillor Nicholson, sorry.
You know the builders went bankrupt?
Yeah, it's been sold out.
And presumably, well, apparently it was owned by the bank, but I don't know who owns it now. But that's presumably why they're changing things, because they're new.
Saving money.
Okay, so that's interesting. I didn't know that actually. But, so what did we,
Do it on for ages.
what are we going to say to this one then about? What's the proposal?
You've got a proposal, councillor Nixie, object on the grounds of not unifying with the estate as per the original application, require more information as to why it was changed.
Okay, who would like to second that?
Took an email and say, skin, we skin.
That was the way. Thank you. And can we take a vote on that, please? Seems to be unanimous. Yes.
Oh, good.
Right. Queen Street now we're on to, aren't we? Flat 2, 78A Queen Street, plus 1. Councillor Austin, sorry.
So this is replacement of the timber sliding sash windows at first floor level facing Queen Street and St Michael's Alley with white UPVC vertical sliding sash windows, replacement of sloping fascia to eaves of bay with white UPVC to match adjacent bay window together with replacement of timber cladding with white PVC or horizontal weatherboarding, inappropriate use of materials, alterations and traditional buildings in town centre.
Right, councillor Austin, we would like to speak to this one.
Before I start, I should say that the planning officer is minded to approve this. I already thought it was in conservation area, it isn't, because where the boundary is. If you look at the state of the first floor windows, the ones over Cook & Co are in quite a good state, but the ones over the charity shop are really not and obviously do urgently need replacement. But if you look all the way along the row, all the surroundings of the windows are all timber. It's just that some have had PVC inserts, and some of the small windows, quite a lot of the small windows at second floor level are PVC. But the use of PVC cladding and more PVC in a historic area, it just seems inappropriate to me. But the conservation officer has said, I don't like it, it's a missed opportunity to do something more attractive, but I suppose we'll have to live with it, basically, and as I said, the planning officer is minded to approve it, so.
Thank you, councillor Austin. Councillor Nixie, then councillor Wing, yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to say I propose that we object to this because quite frankly it isn't something that we want to live with, and we are trying to uphold the beauty and the value of our high street, the aesthetic look that we have. I think that's really quite important. So I'm sorry, I would propose that we object to this on those grounds.
Okay, I just would like to, councillor Wing, what did you want to say?
Again, it goes to the whole shop front. For me, a shop front is the entire building, and Wood Street, where I went to school, it was in a right state, and they put loads of money into shop fronts at the front of the buildings because they were all derelict. And it just is stunning. Wood Street is now stunning. You've got shop fronts that have been reinstated, sometimes with double glazing to make them more modern, and then upstairs all the London brick's been replaced, huge different eras as well along there. And I just think we are missing an opportunity. We've got if you walk in Ramsgate, there's every era. There's Art Deco, there's Georgian, and we're just allowing it to be degraded instead of using it as a huge, and on planning, we had a big discussion about allowing heritage style UPVC windows, which would be a step in the right direction, and okay, maybe we'd be able to control that, because you can replace windows under permitted development rights and then you lose control as a planning authority. So yeah, it's just sad degradation of the town centre, I'm afraid.
We've got that proposal, but let's just hear what councillor Austin and councillor Makinson have got to say.
I just want us to add that row, which is obviously directly across from Waitrose.
Yes.
There's a lot of different buildings with different heights and different windows and so on, but there's a variety of really beautiful bow windows, including that one above Hook and Co. And it seems a terrible shame to me that we're going to degrade.
Yes.
Councillor Makinson, you want to say something, please?
If it's not in a conservation area, I'm not quite sure why they put in an application at all to change the windows.
Is it listed building?
No. And I'm hearing what we're all saying, but I think it's a bit mean to stop people putting in new PVC windows when they keep your place warm.
Yeah, exactly. And the heritage style windows are getting more and more.
Well, they're getting
more and
the
more.
heritage one.
Yeah. Well, the ones we saw, but it was a place in Margate that was being done at the planning meeting, looked really good. And unless you were an expert, you wouldn't really know. An everyday person would just sash windows.
What's it? Effington Street. What's that?
Effingham
Street. They're all doing a new PVC windows up there, and it's a conservation area.
Can I ask where the cladding is?
What?
Where is the cladding going to be? Not on the front of the building, please tell me.
Yeah. Underneath the...
Is it going to be wooden cladding?
The windows, no, it's PVC.
Oh, Jesus.
Right, should we go back to the proposal?
On the entire front of the
Has
building.
anybody got anything else to say on this? The proposal.
Object on the grounds of Ramsgate is trying to uphold the aesthetic look of the high street.
Right, who would like to second that? Okay. Can we have a vote on that, please?
I'm on the bench. So like everything.
You're abstaining?
Right, well, I'm going to vote against that.
Oh, vote against.
Permission to do it. Just
Right, so that's right, I want it noted that we...
It's carried.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Above the shop line, yeah.
Okay,
I can have that.
and we're moving on now to Westcliff Road.
I think it's all right.
I do as well.
But
I think they're trying to do something sensible with this, but I was just a bit,
Yeah.
Right.
To have a closer look.
Yeah.
Yep.
Make sure that there was no overlooking, but I don't think there is from being envisaged, and it doesn't look like it.
So erection of first, second and third floor roof extension together with alterations to fenestration and roof at 97 Westcliff Road.
It's good to get other people's opinions when you're not.
So, councillor,
Oh, sorry, so the rear elevation here you can see is this is how it is existing, a small extension, and then the next one they're adding on to it. So it's extending it out, so you can see that's the original wall, so it's extending it out.
Goodness, that's a lot better for people.
It's a big building already.
a couple of floors, isn't it?
It's on 3 floors, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, councillor, do you want to speak to this?
I just wanted us to have a close look at it and make sure that we were happy that there wasn't overlooking, because obviously with it being 3-storey, it could well cause problems, but having visited, short of going and hammering on the door and saying, can I have a look round the back of your house? I've had a good look and I can't think that it overlooks anything.
No, there's a gap between it and the other house, isn't there?
And a gap at the back.
They're detached houses. They're beautiful houses, actually, very sturdy.
We can see the amount of space at the back there is huge.
Are we happy about this?
I think it's okay.
Yes. No objections.
Seconded.
It is attached to the other neighbour, look, there.
Yeah, it's
But it's at the back.
Can we just vote on the no comment, please? Just make this, thank you. Right. Trade station,
It's train station.
Harbour Street.
The yard, your restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
So we have had this before back in 2020. This is a variation of condition 2. This was for a change of use of basement and ground floor from retail to restaurant with erection of part 4 and 2-storey rear extension with basement. So this is to allow alterations to the window design, including the installation of the Juliet balconies, which they've done retrospectively. So the plan, so it's this area at the back here.
Yeah.
The only change that they've done is, for the variation, is the Juliet balcony and the materials that they've put, while we understand the preference, the previously approved white aluminium windows, it's crucial to note that the proposed UPVC windows were chosen to closely match the approved specifications. Regarding the concerns about the proportions and style of the windows, the design decisions are made with careful consideration and the building's aesthetic. These windows were carefully selected for their profile in the previously approved in order to maintain the harmony. They said while the conservation officer notes the disconnected proportion and style, we believe that the selected windows complement the overall design. So they've gone against the conservation officer's concern. And that's the style that they'll be. So they're basically, instead of the original white aluminium windows, they are now UPVC, and it's retrospective.
Did you want to speak to this, Tricia?
I just wanted to check what it looked like and what we thought about the materials. I'm intrigued by the terminology. We understand the preference for, it wasn't the preference, it's what they had planning approval for, and they've done something different. And I'm constantly concerned that this is happening all over town, that all sorts of things go through because it's not worth arguing once it's happened, etc., etc. And as Councillor Nixie pointed out earlier, we're trying to upgrade and enhance the heritage of the town. So
I get really annoyed with this retrospective malarkey, because we had the same situation with a place across that just ripped the shop front out and put a new shop front in, and the heritage officer wasn't really concerned, the conservation officer wasn't really concerned at all. I don't know, the whole retrospective thing really annoys me, but I can't really see an issue with the windows.
Is there a proposal for this?
I suspect it's probably a no comment because it doesn't make any difference to the living conditions of people, etc. It doesn't make any difference to the overlooking. It's just a use of a different material. And if they are insisting that the material matches in with what was originally proposed, then it's probably not worth making a fuss about, but I do worry about the number of things that it's not worth making a fuss about.
Yeah, exactly. And the retrospective.
Sorry.
Therefore, I'd like it noted that we as a town council are not impressed that a retrospective planning application for something that we thought was happening to our town centre because something's been changed. I agree with the no comment, nothing's going to happen, but I think we also need to say that no, we don't like this happening to us the whole time because why are we even doing this? You know what I mean? Somebody phrase that well for me.
Well, it's the law, I suppose, that you're allowed to put in.
Retrospective.
I know we don't like
Doesn't make it right.
I know we don't like it.
Well, of course, it's missing the point. It's happening, and I'm not saying we don't like the fact that it's happening. I'm not saying it's illegal or it shouldn't happen. I'm just saying it's irksome. As a town council, when we're trying to work towards something and something's agreed, this happening all the time changes what we as a council have a vision for.
I think retrospective planning application is being used for things that it shouldn't be used for. So imagine I put a planning application in to do such and such to my house, and actually once we took the footings out, took the roof off, we found that we couldn't do what we wanted to do because it just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
It would impact. So then I can see the reason why I would have to do something to make my house waterproof or whatever.
Yes.
And then I would put in a retrospective planning application because there would be a justifiable reason. So what is the justifiable reason to go from aluminium to UPVC? And that's what I think. It's no comment, but we would like to know why the developer has chosen UPVC over what was originally approved.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Is it okay to incorporate that in there?
could we add, and we regret the tendency to apply retrospectively for planning permission in our town centre?
Yes.
For things that are not really,
Stationary.
I don't know what the word is, problematic, if that makes sense. It's a matter of aesthetics and choice rather than the drain needs moving because we found this.
It's a matter of cost, I suppose.
Councillor Megginson, you want to speak?
Well, sometimes the aluminium windows are more in keeping
Yeah.
with a semi-industrial.
Yes, totally, yeah.
Whereas PVC windows aren't. That's just what I was saying.
Yes.
And certainly Juliet balconies are not.
I think that's the key thing. If we get a retrospective planning application, we need to know why it's retrospective. Not we just fancied painting it yellow instead of red.
Yes, exactly.
Right, so Dean, have you got all that?
Yes.
Yes.
So-
Right, are we going to vote on the, should we just, can you
Yeah,
like to read that out?
I'll read it out. So,
Dean's just going to read out the,
I kind of compiled something as well. So, no comment, however, wishes it to be noted that RTC is not impressed with the design and the material changes from the original design that is in a conservation area and requests the information as to why it's been changed.
Yes.
is that okay with everyone?
Yes, thank you very much.
Should be, could we just vote on that, please?
Indication of use of retrospective.
Right, hang on, just, right, thank you. Conversation can continue now.
I'm warmer, that's
When we next have our planning training, we're going to ask Ian Livingstone about this.
We say good night to everyone.
Yeah.
Night.
Good night.
I didn't realise.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, and the date and time of the next meeting is Wednesday, the 3rd of April at 7 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah.